Now let's meet our authority on politics.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Jerry Bruno.
Number two.
My name is Jerry Bruno.
Number three.
My name is Jerry Bruno.
And there is a Jerry Bruno there in the middle, and here is Jerry Bruno's story. It goes like this. I, Jerry Bruno, was a political advance man for John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and for a brief time, Lyndon B. Johnson. An advance man goes into a city weeks before a scheduled visit by the president or candidate. He determines where the rally should be held, who should make the introductions, and who should be kept out of sight. Above all, the advance man is responsible for bringing out the crowds. That's vital. In the course of my career as an advance man, I've had to talk back to generals, and on one occasion I was banned from the state of Oregon. I tell the story of these 15 exciting years in a new book titled, most appropriately, The Advance Man, signed Jerry Bruno. And Kitty, you are a political enthusiast, so we'll start with you.
I'm delighted. Number two, who was the most important person to keep out of sight in any of your campaigns?
Someone that was pretty shady at times. If I knew he had a bad background, I'd put him behind barricades and wouldn't let him be seen.
Was it a local man or somebody with your candidate?
No, it was always a local man. We wouldn't travel with anybody that was
I see.
a shady character.
Number three, why were you banned from the state of Oregon?
Congresswoman Edith Green and I had Congresswoman Edith Green and I had some difficulties.
You're not going to tell us any more than that?
Well, she preferred one type of hall, I preferred another.
I see. Number one, do you find it's terribly important when your candidate is on the air to keep the background free in back of him? I find this very trying when I'm watching somebody on television. People are moving back and forth.
Looks like let's make a deal.
Miss Carlisle, no.
Well, that's short. Number two, you don't find this distracting? Don't you try to keep the background free of passers-by?
We try, but the chances are you're just not going to accomplish that because the local politicians always want to get before a camera. They see a...
And that buzzer takes us down to Bill Cullen.
How true, how true. Someone always gets back. Number one, now you're in pretty hot company here with John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, Robert Kennedy. How does an advance man work on a local level? Say a candidate for mayor here in the city of New York. How does his work differ from yours?
Well, I never worked on local campaigns. Therefore, I can't really relate to how the local mayor would work because a local mayor is located in town and doesn't really need an advance man because he lives there.
Number two, how were they, I'll go back to three because you mentioned this Congress lady that you had, Congresswoman you had trouble with. You say she banned you from Oregon. How in the world did she go about banning you from the state of Oregon? That's not easy to ban someone from a state, is it?
Well, her friends were not exactly my friends.
But you could go into Oregon if you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yes, I could.
Oh, good. So I had the wrong idea there, the whole thing. Number two, what did you do before you became an advance man?
I was a truck driver at American Motors.
Come on.
I don't know, I like it.
Peggy says, come on. What's the matter, Peggy?
Number three, what do you do now?
I've got a political public relations firm.
Thank you. Number one, who's Kenny O'Donnell?
Kenny O'Donnell was a very good friend of the president's. Kenny was, I guess he was class of 48 at Harvard. He was captain
What color hair has he got?
Sandy.
Number three, who's Dave Powers?
Well, Dave Powers was also a friend of the family. He was part of the entertainment team.
What color hair has he got?
Black.
Number two, did you buy the hats? And all that stuff as the advance man?
No, we let the local people buy the hats.
But they matched every place. You didn't have a big hat dealer?
We sent a memo to all the stops ahead and said, here's the type of hat we want.
What state is Jesse Unruh from, number two?
California.
Okay. Hey, number three, what kind of hall do you prefer in case I go into politics? I want to be sure to get the right kind of a hall.
As small as possible.
A small hall?
Yeah.
But then you get more people into a big hall.
Yes, but you have more empty space, too.
Oh, well, I naturally intend to fill my hall. I mean, that's number one.
With your friend.
Peggy, let's go to Orson.
The ward healer's daughter here. Number one, what's the most difficult thing that an advance man has to do? Is it, let me ask you this, is it a lonely life, being the advance man?
Well, we're not there alone. We do have local advance men with whom we coordinate when we come into town.
Number 3, normally does the advance man develop a close relationship with the candidate, or is it always one step ahead?
Well, no, it has to be reasonably close.
Reasonably close?
Yes.
Well, number 2, I've worked in campaigns. I campaigned for Jack Kennedy for months way back then. Yes, and I always was with the advance man because I had to MC the rallies until the candidate showed up, and then I was being hustled off to the next rally. Did you?
You weren't at my stop, I could tell you right now.
Why? Otherwise, what would have
I'd have
happened?
recognized you.
Oh, all right, thank you.
And vice versa, I hope.
Number 1, what about the FBI men? What kind of a relationship do they have with you?
Well, generally, the FBI men checked on bad actors in the community, but we worked more closely with the Secret Service.
Number 3, does the FBI get concerned with a candidate who does not as yet hold office, or only once he gets elected?
Both.
Both. In other words, a potential president is protected too.
And there go the bells, and you have just heard 3 very well-briefed gentlemen over there. Nevertheless, we must vote. We must decide between number 1, number 2, number 3. The usual penalties will apply, and Kitty looks ready.
Well, they're all terribly good, but number 2, he said staff. I didn't hear him say park, but I think he comes from around where the Kennedys came from, and he knew an awful lot for a truck driver.
Okay, and we're going down the bill.
You know why I voted for number 2, Kitty? Because when I said to him, what did you do before you were an advance man? He said I was a truck driver. Now, if he were an imposter, he would have made up something else. He'd say he was in a newspaper business or something. So I, too, voted for number 2.
For forthrightness, we've got a pair of 2s. And Peggy?
Well, I thought they were all absolutely marvelous. But number 1, Kenny O'Donnell has brown hair, but you might call it Sandy, but I don't call it Sandy. And, you know, he's number 3, I think he's entertaining. But, you know, the last good laughs we ever had in this country was when the Kennedys were in, and number 2 has a sense of humor, so I voted for him.
We got 3 to show on, and we got Orson Bean coming up.
Yeah, well, it could be any of them. They're perfectly wonderful, and really coincidentally, I voted for number 2 as well because his name is Bruno, and number 2 looks like the Godfather.
Back to Australia.
We are either terribly right or in very bad trouble. Let's find out which is our situation. Will the real Jerry Bruno please stand up?
Oh, for good...
Yeah! Hey, Jerry. I'm amazed. You zipped right in. All right, let's find out who our imposters were. Number 1, sir, what is your real name? What do you do?
My name is Alfred Miranda. I have my own firm representing the Airport Television Network.
Nice to have you. Number 3, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Rudo Globus. I'm a behavioral scientist and the president of the Advisory Incorporated.
Good job. Well, Jerry Bruno, we're going to make you pay for your success with a tough question. As a veteran of the political wars, do you think that President Nixon can be defeated? And if so, who has the best chance of doing it?
There's no question in my mind he's going to be beaten. And I think 3 good possibilities are John Lindsay, Muskie, and Teddy Kennedy.
Okay. Now, I'll be even rottener than that. You named John Lindsay, Muskie, and Kennedy. Of the 3, were you naming them in that order, or...?
No, I just, first of all, John Lindsay has to become a Democrat to be eligible with that bracket.
I can tell I'm not going to get you any closer, so thank you, Jerry, and thank you, imposters, for being with us on To Tell the Truth.
Thank you.
One question.
Well, I tell you, I'm supposed to say goodbye to you, but that last spot got us into such a political discussion here you would not believe. Everybody's going for everybody. Orson keeps mumbling something about Menzies. I don't think he understands the whole situation. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
Coolidge I was talking about.
Coolidge, good man.
In addition to the cast of Wars, our central characters today will receive the Samsonite Classic Attaché case, featuring color-coordinated portfolio and exterior, strong magnesium frames, and stain-resistant cover from Samsonite. Transportation and other considerations provided by Chevrolet, featuring the new Vega, the little car that does everything well. With overhead cam engine, front disc brakes, bucket seats, and power ventilation, the new Vega from Chevrolet. Prizes or product mentions were furnished and or paid for by the manufacturers or supplier of the products or services identified on this program. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Goodbye.